guys, it's Luke from Nerdy Geek Talk, the source for all your nerdy geeky needs. And welcome to episode 2. Shut up, cat! Of Holocron Herald. With me today are the hosts, like always, Erimus Prime, known as Eric. Douchebag.
Wow. Are you gonna keep going or no?
NightWolf. What?
Hi.
That's definitely good.
Great intro.
Thank you.
I don't think
Second only to Darth Forge's failed one.
I think each time I'm just gonna change it.
Oh god, that was great. Okay, let's try that again.
What was wrong with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
I kind of didn't get introduced.
That's what I was gonna say.
Introduce you.
Like I said, it's fine.
Wow, Jesse.
Okay, fine. Let's power through.
Okay.
I'm
How
Darth
about-
Forge.
On our side.
Okay. So, I'm just so distracted right now. You want to go through news first, right?
Yeah,
Left.
let's go, Eric. Be
Okay.
significant.
So, this is great. My news is not pulling up right now, but let's go over first the
Professional
Battlefront.
podcaster, guys.
Shut up. So Battlefront 2. I hate you guys. Anyways, Battlefront 2, the list of heroes and villains for the game, like as in, if you play the game, you know what that means. It's not literally like the heroes and villains, it's special characters that you play as in the game. There was a list that was leaked online, and here it is. Boba Fett, Han Solo, Leia, Luke, Bossk, Chewbacca, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, General Grievous, Iden, Kylo Ren, Lando Calrissian, Darth Maul, Captain Phasma, Rey, and Yoda.
I have a question.
What?
Who are those people?
Okay, so
All of them.
you should know all
Who's
of
Yoda?
them except Iden. Iden is the leader of Inferno Squadron and is the main character of the campaign for Battlefront 2.
And yes, to answer the question, she is attractive.
What?
Eric, that's a callback to earlier.
It's probably a question on someone's mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay, so I'm really excited by this list. Actually, I wish there was a little bit more of prequel characters, like a presence for them. Like, how hard would it be to put Jango Fett? It's literally just like another skin for Boba Fett.
I feel like they could just do an update or something.
True, but
You want Jar Binks, is what you're saying?
yeah. Where's our Jar Jar Binks? But to be honest, they got the one character I wanted most, so I'm fine with it. General Grievous is from day one. They announced that it's going to be all eras. I was like, General Grievous has to be in this game, and he's in this game. So I'm so happy now because I'm happy
So
to
excited.
belong.
Oh god, we're gonna get demonetized. Please don't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Copyright strike.
Oh god. Oh god. We gotta edit everything Eric said out now.
It's okay. I didn't sing it well, so it doesn't count.
We're good. Don't start unbelieving.
Okay, so which out of all of those characters are your favorite / the one you're most excited for in the game? That is in the game.
Sand.
I hate him.
I'm not in the
Wait
game
a minute. Anakin Skywalker isn't in there, and Obi-Wan Kenobi aren't.
now. Is Darth Vader in it?
Darth Vader is, but I would still expect
Well-
Anakin because of the prequel era. But definitely
Well, he's
Obi-Wan.
probably a little kid at this point.
What? It's all no,
Yeah.
no.
If you go by when Darth Maul's alive, or not
How
alive,
about
I should
when
not say
General
alive.
Grievous was
When
involved with
he
Star
still
Wars?
has a full lightsaber, that's when Anakin was a little kid.
When General Grievous was around, Anakin was full size. And
Size?
he even had all his limbs then, too.
Honestly, I don't think that's everyone.
I'm most excited.
Yeah, I don't think so either, because there's no way you can leave Obi-Wan off.
Yeah, 17 is such a weird number.
Yeah, there is.
I feel. Is Kylo Ren?
What if he's in the original trilogy and not the prequel trilogy?
It doesn't matter. He's not on the list, is what I'm saying.
Who? Darth Maul?
Obi-Wan. No, Obi-Wan. Also, we know that Darth Maul is Phantom Menace because we saw that he has the double lightsaber and both legs.
What?
Yes. But, Luke, wait, what were you saying?
What?
You said something before when John was talking, and I forget what you said.
I said I don't think that's everyone, because 17's like such a weird number to have as a roster for a game.
True. Oh, no, you said something about Kylo Ren. That's what I was wondering.
Is Kylo Ren the only new era person in that?
Rey, Captain Phasma.
Okay.
I think those are the only three, which I'm fine with.
I'm really excited for Captain Phasma.
Yeah, so am I. That's my second most exciting one. General Grievous and then Captain Phasma.
That's my third.
General Grievous.
I'm most excited for General Grievous and Bosk.
Oh, really?
I love Bosk. Bosk was a bounty hunter.
Lizard dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's a Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I have an original Star Wars figure of Bosk. Fun fact.
That's the dinosaur figurine.
Oh, also, something that came out really recently, there was a brief thing about some of Rey's attacks in
I know what he's talking about.
Star Wars Battlefront 2. There's Dash Strike, Mind Trick, and Insight. Dash Strike, she charges forward with her lightsaber. Mind Trick, she, causes enemies to be dazed and confused for a little bit. And Insight...
I actually know something about this.
And Insight, she takes a moment to deeply sense her surroundings, revealing and highlighting all nearby enemies.
Cool story, bro.
So,
I know that Kylo Ren is Force Freeze.
Oh, yeah.
And Luke, actually, something I wanted to bring up about this is what I heard this week is, or not to cut you off, Jesse, did you have something to say?
no.
Luke Skywalker has Force Repulse,
Huh.
which
That's cool.
in Legends was like you do like a force field and shoot it out.
Yeah, I know what it is. That's
But
cool.
the way it's described now, it looks like he like sends a shockwave through the ground.
Okay. So we have other news, which is the first 4 episodes of Star Wars Forces of Destiny are out. First one is
Boo.
Sands of Jakku. Then there's BB-8 Bandits, which is episode 2. Episode 3 is Ewok Escape. Episode 4 is The Padawan Path. So the first 2 are about Rey. Third one is about... Shut up. Third one's about Princess Leia, and fourth one's about Ahsoka. So the only ones we still have left, character-wise, are Rey... No, not Rey. Jyn Erso, Sabine Wren, and Padme Amidala. Those are the only 3 characters that still have episodes left. So July 3rd is when they were premiering on the YouTube channel, these episodes, but July 9th is when they're going to premiere on Disney Channel. So
They're coming out pretty slow on the Disney Channel. I think episode 4 is scheduled for, July 23rd or something, so they're coming out slow on there. But, yeah, you can find them online. Me and Eric are the only ones who've seen all of them, right?
I don't want to.
they're actually not bad.
They're actually, yeah, they're good. The first one was definitely the worst. It was really awkward. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't very good. I didn't really like it, and I kind of worried about the series. But the second one was better. Still not, great, but the third one was pretty good. Standard quality, and the fourth one I really liked.
It's like I said, if it's just full of Easter eggs, I would feel so much better.
Yeah, there's only Easter eggs in the Princess Leia episode and the Ahsoka episode. There weren't really any in the... Oh, you know what? There was like a little bit of expanding on things you saw a little bit of in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But
I mean, to be fair, they are only like 2.5 minutes long or whatever.
There's only sand.
yeah. There is a lot of sand in the first two episodes.
The first 2 episodes.
Kind of hard to expand on that.
They kind of stole the first episode's premise from Tremors.
He has a point.
Like, that's quite literally the entire movie of Tremors. Only in Tremors, there's no coercing the monster.
There's no force abilities, as far as I'm aware.
There wasn't any in Forces of Destiny either.
No, yeah, she did. She definitely used the Force whenever she threw her staff.
No, she did.
She didn't just have a feeling on where it was. That she was sensing.
She used force.
couldn't.
God damn it.
No.
She was, yes, she definitely sensed.
No.
She didn't even think it was real. She didn't even know if it was real.
The Force? That doesn't mean she wasn't using it.
She wasn't.
Yes,
This
she
has
was.
everything. Come on.
No, she wasn't.
She did not just randomly throw her staff and hit it.
Yeah, she did.
No, she didn't. You are stupid. You know.
It's a pretty big thing.
Like always, I'm going to be a bad YouTuber and eat while I'm doing this.
It's okay. I ate right before we started, whenever I thought we were actually going to start.
No,
So did I.
I'm not gonna eat specifically until we're recording.
Nice. Alright, so next bit of news is the Toys R Us exclusive Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch Commander Grief figure from Revenge of the Sith, which looks amazing still, by the way. It's going to be available online starting July 20th, and it'll also be in a set available at the Entertainment Earth booth during 2017 San Diego Comic-Con. So, that's neat. I'm really excited for that figure, actually, so it's good that that is happening. More San Diego Comic-Con 2017 news is that there's going to be an exclusive Incinerator Stormtrooper available from Anavos. I'm not sure how you say the company. And also an exclusive Gentle Giant Princess Leia hologram statue.
Is that a weight joke?
No! That's the company name, is Gentle Giant. But you can probably... It's not hard to see why they did Princess Leia as an exclusive. I mean, I think it's nice that they're doing it, but still, it's like, really? You're just doing it because she died. But, you know, I guess. Whatever. Also, Ron Howard has had his first day on the set of the Han Solo film, and it appears right now that Han Solo will not get pushed back like some people were afraid of because of some Lego sets. It seems like the release
the Lego
date
sets are still on schedule.
Yeah, they're still on schedule for 2018, so that's how it's looking, is that it's 2018, they're not pushing it back to 2019. Could change, but that's it. So that's pretty much all the news I have for this week. It's been a somewhat slow news week. So, Luke, you're the boss. What's the topic?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry, I'm doing things around the house while I do this.
Great host.
You're professional.
Yeah. The topic this week is something near and dear to my heart. I don't know what is the different interpretations of the Force.
So, do you just want to name different interpretations of the Force? Do you want to discuss what your favorites are, or what?
Well, of course I researched this.
Okay, so
Right.
let's give us a list.
Go ahead.
I said, first, I guess let's run through the basic ones. So there's the light side, the dark, and the gray.
So, Jedi, Sith, Grey Jedi. If you're going to talk orders, right?
Yeah, what do you define as gray Jedi? Because that's kind of a conflicted thing.
I know. I don't like it being called Grey Jedi. I think it just be called. I think it should have its own name, like Grey.
Gray.
Yeah. I don't like it being called Grey Jedi either, because you're implying that there's still part. Like Jedi is pure light. When you're saying Grey Jedi, it's like just saying gray pure light.
Yeah, like gray Jedi. If you just said that, it could be someone like Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in all fairness, no, you know what, you're right. Grey Jedi still has its application, but it is not in the middle. Like, a lot of people like to say that Grey Jedi is right in the middle. If you're a Grey Jedi, that's like the same thing as being a light Sith, which, yes, that does exist, where you're still in that order, but you're just on the very border of where you could possibly be pushed out. Like, you're in an extreme end of the spectrum inside of the Jedi, if you get what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'll put your laying down.
You picking up what I'm putting down? So yeah, those three. There's also, oh crap, what's Zeb's species called?
The Lasats.
The Lasats. The way they view it. Here, you want to go into that a little bit?
The Oshla?
Yeah, talk about the Oshla.
Let's see, I think I had an article about this ready.
Because theirs is a bit weird. It's cool. But certainly
You're a bit weird.
unique.
Mm-hmm. The first thing I read says, the Oshla. Does it differ from the Force? We don't know.
I think it's the same thing, it's just a different name for it.
I think it's a lot like the Night Sisters.
Yeah, they're another faction we didn't talk about.
It's like us leading it into the topic or something.
Wow.
I know.
No.
You don't know what you're talking about.
No, I don't plan.
So,
The
Oshla.
I don't know if you need metachlorians to be able to use it, which confuses me.
Oh yeah, that's true, because like Zeb kind of used it in Rebels to guide the ship back home. So like they view it as something that they can't control at all, right?
Yeah, it's like reading cards or something like that, pretty much.
So they view it as like a force that controls them versus them controlling the force. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But that's not the same as the Night Sisters, because the Night Sisters specifically bend the Force to use as magic. Has it been explicitly stated that Night Sisters use the dark side of the Force too? Like,
yes,
only the dark
that's
side?
canon, yes. Okay. Non-canon, no.
Because I know that like they use magic and that some of it draws to the dark side. I didn't know if it was complete dark side or if it was just like leaning dark side.
In non-canon, it started out, they just used the Force, but then a faction of them just stuck to the dark side, which became the Night Sisters.
Gotcha. So they're interesting, and they can create Force users. Like, they aren't Force users themselves, but they can draw that out of people, like Savage. Like, Savage wasn't a Force user previously, and I guess Ventress, Ventress wasn't a... No, Ventress was... taken... No.
Yeah, he was a Padawan.
Yeah, Ventress was a Padawan, then went Night Sister, so she's not counted. But Savage, specifically, was not Force-sensitive, or at least extremely powerful in the Force, previous to a ritual that the Night Sisters performed on him, and then he became very Force-sensitive. Still had to be trained.
He was fucking jacked.
He was great. I know, I love Savage. And the Night Sisters, I question, like, what their power limits are, because, like, they also brought Maul back from insanity and completely healed him and everything. But General Grievous wiped them out. Like, bad.
Yeah, there's one other thing.
He just totally went to town, murdered all of them with his army. So, like, I guess there are limits. I guess they can only... They can't make themselves that much powerful, but they can but they can bring out power from other beings. But still, I guess their magic does have its limits, because General Grievous essentially wiped out the Night Sisters. They didn't all die, but like 99% of them died in a day.
I think what could make them a threat would be, like you said, they have limits, but since it's more like magic, I feel like if I knew something with the Night Sisters and I could teach it to you very easily. So, like, It's not like my force ability is not the same as yours.
That's true. Yeah, you're right, because you can essentially teach anyone to...
Yeah, it's really easy to, like, rebuild after, like, something like that happens.
Because you don't need specific people.
Yeah.
Nice. So, a question I have is, because this is kind of muddy in terms of different characters and stuff and events that have gone on. Do people have a light side and a dark side? Or are they one... Or are they, like, one thing, and so, like, if they're light, then they turn dark? Like, do you view characters as having a light side and a dark side, and one just wins over the other? Or they balance each other? Like, because, you know, Vader went from being Jedi to dark side, then to light side. So, was he himself changing, or was his balance just changing? Like, Darth Revan, which is now not canon, specifically had, it was almost like there were two people living inside of him. He had a light side and a dark side. Like, it wasn't one person that balanced both. There were two, like, people in him. So, my question is, do you think that's how it is in canon still? Like, do you think that you have a light side and a dark side? Or do some people just have one that's, like, they're completely dedicated to one, or what?
John, say something.
Oh, thank you.
I want to say, I don't think it's two different people inside of a person. I think it's more of what part of the Force they're drawing it from.
Mm-hmm. But that they're one person, and it's just what power source they're using is changing, not necessarily them. Okay, that's fair. Because I would say, like, Darth Revan is the exception, not the rule. If I'm agreeing with you pretty much too, I'd say that he's the exception, not the rule, because he did have like two different people inside of him, and that was made explicitly clear. Like, that's not a guess. That was said to be true.
I think it's more of like a balance of the Force, but like the totally opposite ends of the spectrum, like, which can change. Like when you're totally light and totally dark, I think those are pretty much two different people. If that makes any sense.
Because Revan was totally dark and totally light, which is why he had...
Yeah.
But then you go to, like, Sidious. Sidious had, like, no light at all. He was just, like, pure dark. So...
Yeah.
He didn't have two sides, but he did have, essentially, you know... He didn't have a balance inside of him. He was just one.
Yeah, I don't think of it as a balance. I think it's more like a spectrum, is what I meant.
That's fair. I think some characters do have a balance. Maybe. You know what? I don't know. It's tough, because, like, Dooku. Like, Dooku was a hardcore Jedi at one point. Like, more than a lot of the rest of the Order. But then he got corrupted and just turned bad, so it wasn't like... It's still him, but at the same time, he almost feels like a totally different person whenever he is Count Dooku. Darth Tyrannus. So, I don't know. Is Darth Vader a different person than Anakin Skywalker? Let's ask that question. Just go around yes or no. You don't have to explain why. We can dive into it.
This question stresses me out.
Wait. What'd you say?
I said this question stresses me out whenever we talk about it.
You gotta pick one, though. Darth Vader, different person from Anakin Skywalker. Yes or no? Are they the same person?
They're the same person, but the way the Sith Order is, it makes you think of him as a different person. So that way, it allows him to go further than from what he actually is as Anakin Skywalker.
So you're saying that no, but he's being deceived to think that he is.
I don't want to say deceived, but it's a way for him to... Okay, so if you... Say you're you, alright? And you go crazy and decide you're going to kill a whole bunch of kids. Well, it would be hard for you to think of you as you killing a bunch of kids, but if you think of yourself as a different person from the good person you used to be, it's a lot easier for you to rationalize it in your head.
Aw, you think I'm a good person.
All right, in
I think
general.
it's one of those,
But you know what I mean, right?
things. Yeah, I think it's one of those psychological.
That's more of
Yeah, you see something traumatic.
Yeah.
mhm.
Okay.
I agree.
So,
it's like the inflationary
so all of you are saying that they are not different people, but that they think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mindset of a different person. Yes.
Gotcha.
What do you think?
I might actually disagree. It's really tough because I like the point you're going with, but at the same time, it's made. I don't know. I think you're
It's
right,
okay to be wrong.
but I think you're terrible. I think the what he went through really did like forge another identity, especially because of the concept we heard for Force Awakens that still might possibly be used in The Last Jedi or the 9th movie, we don't know, with the Anakin Skywalker Darth Vader ghost hybrid, where they're like fighting for control.
Well, I think you should leave the call.
I'm just saying, like, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but like when you look at it that way,
But you disagree with what we're saying.
I don't know.
I think it's
tough.
just when they're talking about the Force Ghost hybrid, I think it's just because he was very strong in both sides of the Force. Like, he was very powerful on both sides. So I think it's both sides of the Force, which are essentially like parts of him, but still the same person kind of fighting for control. Since he was extremely powerful in light and dark, I think it's not balanced, but it's like they're both extremely powerful, so they both come out in the form of a Force Ghost.
See, but it's the part where the fact that it's literally like a split, like half of him is like Darth Vader helmet, like.
I thought it fades back and forth.
What? Well,
Like
yeah,
it's-
it is. It's like
Yeah.
they're fighting, and then at one point when they're fighting, they're literally like kind of merged. Like, you know, it's like Darth Vader for a second, then it's Anakin for a second, then it's like half of each for a little bit, and then like it's clearly a struggle. I feel like it kind of is two people, but I don't know. It's hard, especially because of the fact that Vader was redeemed.
But
If he didn't
it's
have that
only
redemption moment, you could say that they were two different people and have a stronger argument for it. But Darth Vader was redeemed, but some people would say that's just Anakin coming back, because Return of the Jedi, Anakin returned. But some people say no, Vader was redeemed. So it's a really difficult question to answer.
Eric, I think the fact that there was a clear struggle there proves that it's the same person. Because if it was two different people, there wouldn't really be a struggle.
They'd be
You know what I
two
mean?
different Force Ghosts.
There's the struggle that you're seeing there is Darth Vader, like, kind of, wait a second, there's a little bit of a lie about me being a different person. Like, that's the struggle. Like, he starts to realize the lie for a second, but then he believes it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, there's the title Return of the Jedi. I'm not saying that this is my argument, but an argument that could be presented
This is his
is
argument.
that Anakin returns, that he was gone because he's a different person, and that he returns, and that's why the struggle happens. Like, he gave up for a while and just let Darth Vader take control. Which, again, they don't necessarily have to be two different people for that mindset to have taken over. But you can see how the title gives that argument a little bit of strength, too. The Return of the Jedi. It's not just saying Return of the Conscious, it's Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker.
But, like, you don't have to be a different person to not be a Jedi.
Can I make a statement?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're the host.
I think in the case of Darth Vader specifically, and when he first becomes Darth Vader, he is still Anakin. But at a certain point over time passing, it became like a different personality. Because he kills the Sand People as Anakin. And that's very bad. But he's still him. So I think at a certain point along the way of being Darth Vader, it turned into a different personality.
That's fair. Well, I'm just saying that it is possible in Star Wars to have someone who has two different people essentially inside them, because Darth Revan was explicitly stated.
Not canon.
No, I know it's not
Not
canon.
canon.
So that's why I'm saying it's a debate now. It's not, because if that was canon, and the fact that they've said that Darth Vader is like and Anakin Skywalker are two different people, you could say that, you know what, it's more likely than not they are two different people. But with the fact that Revan's now Legends, that's what makes the waters pretty muddy.
You look bad and you should feel bad.
But, like, you know, Revan and Darth Revan are two different people. Revan's the light, and Darth Revan is the dark side of the light. Completely. So that's the, you know, that got to the point where literally the light side of him helped his enemies kill Darth Revan so he could finally die. Because his dark side wouldn't give up. Dark side like, no, I am not dying. I have to go kill Vitiate. Like, I am not dying until that man is dead.
I'm not dying, Dad.
So, it's possible, but at the same time, it's not canon that that's ever happened, so this would be the first time of that happening.
See, I think that's still, like, in the spectrum when you're of the Force, in the way I see it. When you're totally on the light and totally on the dark, it essentially seems like you're two different people because you're using totally opposite sides of the Force, but you're still technically the same person.
See, but
which is why I think Darth Vader and Anakin fighting as a Force Ghost just cements the idea that they are the same person, because they're coming back as one Force Ghost. They're not. I mean, they're fighting for who the Force Ghost is portrayed as, but it's still one Force Ghost. Because if they were two people, you could very much make the argument that both Anakin and Darth Vader were strong enough in the Force to come back as Force Ghosts.
But they're forever
so-
bonded together. They had to share a body, so it makes sense that they share a Force Ghost.
But the dark side,
Not really.
they can't come back
'Cause-
without
Exactly,
Like,
the dark side on its own. So that's the argument you can have for it too. Is that if they were separate people, then they would have separate Force Ghosts, and therefore Vader wouldn't come back. But at the same time, it's tough because you can't say that they're separated because they had to share a body. If they were two different people, then why couldn't they have two different bodies? But but I'm saying if it's proven like Revan that there are two different people inside of one body, then it makes sense they would come back as one ghost. So
maybe he was just mentally ill.
you know what? That's what I was about to make that argument too. Is that if the ghost is fighting for control, if it seems like he's fighting himself for control, neither Anakin or Darth Vader were insane. You don't fight with yourself unless you're insane. Like you don't have literally two different people inside of you fighting for control, clearly, like yelling at each other, unless you're insane. Neither one of them were insane. So the only thing that makes sense to me is that there really are two different people fighting for control, because neither one would be yelling at themselves. You can be really distraught and upset about what's going on in your past actions and also those feelings, but you don't scream at yourself and reply to yourself like I'm imagining this going. So I don't know.
I think it's just a different topic for another day.
I think it is. I think it really could be its own topic.
We gotta wait for episode 8 to make an argument.
True. You gotta wait to see if they actually bring that concept to life or not.
Because for all you know, if they do it, maybe it's just he aesthetically changes. His words don't change. The way he looks just does.
That'd be kind of stupid, but interesting. Because in all fairness, why would you change aesthetically if you aren't changing your mental state at all? But that would be, I don't know. Unless his mental state was literally a blending of the two both.
Yeah, if he's saying one thing, but then he gets darker with it as he turns into him. But the overall message is the same.
That's interesting. So, are there any other Force factions that you have that you wanted to discuss?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ugh, I did this at 9 o'clock this morning. I got up with my text from Eric and like, oh shit, this means I actually have to participate.
Yep, it's your show now, so.
The Acolytes of the Beyond.
Oh! Or do you want to discuss them by their other name we might know them as?
Is that confirmed? Is that...
No, it's not confirmed, but it's
highly likely.
It's so close to being confirmed that they are the Knights of Ren. But, again, not confirmed yet. Their whole deal... So I just want to get out specific few details that I know that aren't necessarily widespread known. You probably know this one, but not everyone does. Their first appearance was them trying to purchase a lightsaber that they believed was a red lightsaber that they believed was Darth Vader, so they could destroy it, so it could be with its master, Darth Vader, in death. Then later we see them in another novel. Later we see them getting violent and actually like storming a place to get Sith artifacts. And there's one of the knights is unsure about herself and like doing what she's doing. She's like, I don't know if I could do this. But then whenever you're inducted as like a full member, you get not necessarily a Sith helmet, but like a Sith-like helmet, like a helmet that is clearly it has to have some kind of dark side ties. So it's literally, they use Sith, not necessarily, because I don't know if they can perform Sith alchemy, but they definitely do bond it to the dark side, and then you wear it and you're a full-on member. And she was not sure about what she's doing, but then she got put back in. She became sure of herself once she had this helmet placed on. Also, they got lightsabers at a certain point. Some of them had lightsabers. Now,
didn't they have Darth Vader's glove, too?
Did they what?
Did they have Darth Vader's glove?
That sounds familiar. I don't remember that. So I'm not saying yes or no, but that sounds familiar. It doesn't surprise me because they sounded like they were super obsessed with Darth Vader. Which again, this is the Acolytes of the Beyond, but we also think that it could be the Knights of Ren, because the Knights of Ren, not all of them are Force users, just like the Acolytes of the Beyond, but they are clearly obsessed with Darth Vader in particular, but also the dark side. And they wear these masks and helmets that are evil-looking.
Oh, wait, I remember my research now.
Go for it.
So, the reason they love the dark side so much is because they see the Force as a raging current that you're just forced to, like, be part of. But a Darksider is able to stop and change that current. And since Darth Vader was so powerful, that's the reason I love him so much.
So they like the fact that the Darksiders, they use the Force, they bend it to their will, versus the Jedi who go with the Force and let it do as it wants in, the light side. Which, honestly, in all fairness, I like that aspect of the dark side, too. That you have control. You control your own destiny.
Eric, we talked about that with the book earlier this week.
Uh-huh.
Oh, look at that.
Any other factions you have?
I feel like there's one. I guess the Jedi.
Oh, really the Jedi Order. So before the Jedi and the Sith, whenever they split.
Yeah, the original Force.
They confuse me. I don't know if they were truly in the middle or not. I want to say they were in the middle. And then some people started going dark, and so that scared others into, they had a war, and then they were like, you know what, we need to go full-on light to prevent what they did. So, I don't know. But I could be wrong. The Jedi could have been light. I don't know that for sure.
I know originally they were on this planet with 2 moons on it. One was the light, one was the dark. Mm-hmm. So if you were, more balanced on one, you'd go visit the other, balance yourself out, you'd meditate. And you were just you use both sides of the Force, pretty much.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, but I wasn't entirely sure.
And then they start killing each other.
Yeah, exactly, because, nothing good lasts. Alright, so do you guys want to run through your favorite / which faction you would be a part of? You want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. And it doesn't necessarily... Yeah, you know what? You have to pick a specific faction. You can't just say, I'm light or dark. Like, you have to or, whatever. You have to pick one of the groups we mentioned, or a different one that we didn't mention if we forgot one. John, go first.
Alright, so I would be Jedi, but I can't agree with anything that says you can't love, so I'd be a Dark Jedi.
Wait.
Do you mean Gray Jedi or Dark Jedi? There is a difference.
Dark Jedi.
Okay.
We did not even talk about Dark Jedi. I know I feel bad.
Do you want to, real quick?
Okay, John, elaborate.
Because I feel like I'm dark enough that I'm too dark to be a Gray Jedi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like Gray Jedi are specifically about balance. Dark Jedi will use the dark side specifically, like, more than a little bit of balance. Like, they aren't tied to the Jedi code, but they use the dark side, but they aren't a Sith. They definitely aren't a Sith. They try to be a good person, but they specifically draw upon the dark side, even when sometimes it's probably not a good idea. Gray Jedi specifically try to maintain both.
I feel like the Dark Jedi should be the ones that are called the Grey Jedi, if anyone.
Probably, yeah.
Because they both, yeah.
Yeah, because a Dark Jedi does use the dark side, and like Jedi code kind of tries to abide by. Not all of it, but
I mean, the Grey Jedi basically just obey the Force, so that's like pretty much in the middle, while still being Jedi, like as in good intentions.
See, but like Ahsoka Tano isn't a Jedi, so I wouldn't call her a Grey Jedi. I would just call her like a Grey.
I know, but like Qui-Gon Jinn was essentially a Grey Jedi.
He was close, yeah.
I hate this term. We need to change this term.
I know, we need to have a term that isn't Jedi, because
Qui-Gon Jinn was a Grey Jedi.
Yes, but he wasn't.
Ahsoka shouldn't be called one.
Yeah, exactly. So it needs its own term. But who knows? Because with Episode 8, the Jedi need to come to an end. What's the new faction that could start? Who knows? Like, they could come up with a name for people in the middle, and so Ahsoka wouldn't technically be part of that order, but you could call her, like, pretty much the first one.
The Justice League.
Yeah! That trademark definitely isn't taken.
Oh, wait, no, Marvel. Never mind. Avengers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Star Wars is talking Marvel comics. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Also...
Wait, what?
Also, I feel like some dark side abilities have more benefits than if you just used light side abilities. Like, if you used a combination of light side and some dark side abilities, you would be more powerful than both just a dark side user and just a light side user. You know what I mean?
What's the stuff that Mace Windu uses?
Vipad, or Vipod, however you pronounce it.
But that's just his style of
That's
lightsaber.
his style of lightsaber fighting, which is like it's a mental thing too, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dark Jedi too, but I don't want that.
He's not a Dark Jedi, just to make the Mace Windu is not.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's Snoke.
Oh my god, no. Literally the worst theory. The Darth Jar Jar is a better theory than Mace Windu being Snoke.
I beg to differ.
No.
Because Darth Jar Jar is a joke. Mace Windu is an actual theory.
No, it's a garbage theory.
We should dedicate a podcast going through the worst theories we can find and trying to justify
I'm so down for that. We can totally do that next week.
Like satirical as possible.
I definitely do that.
Theory that's the worst
I'm legitimately excited for this. Okay, so let's go through.
Let's also all write our own.
Yes.
It's complicated.
So,
everyone's gonna die.
All of us need to pick our faction now. John, you pick Dark Jedi. Who's next?
Jesse.
I'd like to say I'd be part of the Jedi, since I'd like to be in the middle, but also...
The Bendu!
Shut up. But I think it would be really cool to be a Night Sister.
Damn it.
Okay, there are Night Brothers.
I was gonna
say, whenever you're a guy, you are called a Night Brother, just saying.
No. I want to be a Night Sister.
Okay.
I agree with Jesse.
Yeah, leave me alone, okay?
Wait, Wait, Luke, are you actually picking that?
Yeah, that's what I agree with Jesse because I feel like you can use both sides if you really want to. Like, if you're, I think it's one of those powers where, like, at its base, it's pretty cool. But if you're smart enough, you can find new ways of using it that, like, people would not know what to do. Because you can infuse weapons and shit. Like, she can become the ghost, like Mother Talzin did.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go with a light Sith. Because I would still want to use the dark side for specific things, but I like the Sith code more than I like the Jedi code. I despise the Jedi code as a whole. I think it's just straight up denial of being human or anything. Sith code is about trying to create your destiny. The Sith are not evil. It is the dark side that eventually corrupts you. So that's why I'm saying it'd be a light Sith, is to try to not... I'd avoid the corruption by being a light Sith, but still going by the code. So I still
and
use
eventually
the dark side occasionally, but
still be corrupt.
You don't know that.
Yeah, because Dark Jedi don't get corrupt.
Yeah, so it's sort of like the same thing, except you're the Dark Jedi and Light Sith, I want to say, are pretty much the same thing. It's just which code you believe in more.
Yeah, you started from one and go to the other, pretty much.
Well, I wouldn't even say that. You start from one and then try to go to the middle. I don't think you... Because, like, Dark Jedi don't switch to the Sith... Well, you know what? Do they? I would say that they go to the middle. They don't switch codes, but that could be different.
I think they're like the Batman of the Jedi, where they're just willing to go farther for what they want.
Mm-hmm. I try to be a light Sith, because I try to avoid the corruption, but still, that is the code that I believe in more, by far.
Ooh.
And it gives you more control over your own destiny, which I am a fan of.
Anakin gives you more.
Well, Anakin essentially had no control over his destiny.
I was just making a pun.
Okay, so I think I
two
figured
Night
it out.
Sisters, a Light Jedi, and a Dark Jedi and a Light Sith.
We can be the greatest group ever.
Star Wars
Hey,
audio
wait.
is coming soon with this roster.
Guys,
Go ahead, John.
Go, John.
I think I figured it out between the difference between a gray Jedi and a dark Jedi. Like, what's the difference between their codes? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a dark Jedi is someone who utilizes both the dark side of the Force and the light side of the Force. They have to use different aspects of each in order to be as powerful as they are. But a gray Jedi does not acknowledge the difference between the two. They just use the Force, regardless of what it is.
See, again, that's such a stupid term, because they shouldn't be called Jedi. They should be called Gray, but not Jedi. Because Jedi specifically, it's in their core, is the fact that they acknowledge there's a difference and they choose one. Gray Jedi
I don't think the
even...
color matters.
They're just bigots.
But yeah, I'd go Light Sith.
Damn.
I'd definitely go dark Jedi.
What would your ability be, Eric? Like your main go-to thing that you're the best with?
No, I hate to say it, but like... Okay, you know what? No, I'd probably use Mind Trick more than anything, but in terms of like combat, either Lightning or Choke. Come on!
Oh
If it's a battle, you gotta win!
Oh my god!
The Lightning's probably the best.
I gotta say, yeah, it's the best.
Not if you're fighting Yoda.
I mean, just being the best doesn't mean you win in every single scenario. It's just your best option. Most of the
I
time.
could
Yeah, I
But
know.
to be fair, if I was a Force user in the Star Wars universe, regardless of whether or not I'd be a Dark Jedi, Sith, or whatever, I would focus most of my fighting abilities on the Force. I would still use my lightsaber, but I would use the Force more than most people would.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It makes you so much more powerful. It's an advantage that most people don't use enough. Whenever you're fighting a Force user, that's when it's important to have the lightsaber skills. But to be honest, the majority of interaction we see in Star Wars are Force user on Force user. But when you look at the galaxy in a whole, the most of the battles that Force users are in are going to be against people who are not Force users. So you got to use that more than your lightsaber training, because lightsaber training can only get you so far. Your Force abilities, there's essentially no limit. There's only your personal limits, but you can keep pushing those on and on until you're more powerful.
That's why General Grievous can actually fight Force users, because they don't use their Force abilities enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jesse. Oftentimes in Star Wars, whenever there's a lightsaber battle, both users, I've seen this throughout the different shows and movies and stuff, they focus mainly on their lightsaber skills as what's the word I'm looking for?
Force abilities?
No, as like their lightsaber fighting skills rather than their Force abilities. And a user that throws in some Force abilities with their lightsaber skills will gain the advantage, because most of the time, whenever there's a lightsaber battle, they're focusing on their lightsaber skills rather than their Force abilities.
True. Now, when you're in a battle with a Force user, using Force abilities in that battle is much harder than you'd think, because of specific reasons that have been given in non-canon and canon. Using the Force on a Force user is much more difficult than you would expect. In fact, it's much harder than using a lightsaber. But because
they can sense it coming too.
Yeah, using the Force on someone who does not use the Force is much easier than using your lightsaber, because, like NightWolf said, General Grievous is the key argument for that. You're not going to beat him in lightsaber combat most of the time. If you're going to beat him in a battle, it's going to be using the Force, because he's trained on completely on one end of the spectrum, because he doesn't have the option to train with the Force. So he put all of his time into lightsaber combat.
And they trained him to scare the Jedi. So they
specifically in Jedi killing ways. Not just lightsaber combat. Specifically methods of killing Jedi. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Not to mention freaking Count Dooku trained him, who's like one of the best.
Yeah, Count Dooku.
That's another point for being a Dark Jedi. Because if I was a Dark Jedi, I would have studied those Jedi killing ways, and I would recognize that that's what they're going for, and I would know a defense against it.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I like what me and Jesse picked, because you don't necessarily have to use a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I still like having the lightsaber as an option, though.
I feel like the best thing
too.
for that is like what is it? Like unorthodox warfare kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But in all fairness, a Dark Jedi or a Light Sith are much more likely to kill a Night Sister one-on-one.
No.
One-on-one.
What do you mean by one-on-one? In like what circumstance here?
Any circumstance. A Dark Jedi versus a one Night Sister. The scenario doesn't really matter that much. In terms of power levels, it is almost guaranteed the Dark Jedi will win. Or the Light Sith. Especially the Light Sith.
Is Force lightning?
I don't think most... I think that maybe Mother Talzin? I want to say that she has a power at least similar to it at one point, but I don't
She can do the gas thing, but...
There's the deception and stuff, but typically...
she can use lightning.
She can?
Didn't she use that in combination with her Sith magic?
She did.
With Darth Maul?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a specific scene where she used it in combination with her Sith magic on Darth Maul.
That's not Sith lightning, though, so it isn't as powerful. But it is lightning, so that is a power that they have.
Yeah, but lightning still hurts like hell.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just saying that there is a difference between what the Jedi and Night Sisters can do with their lightning powers, because there are specific lightning powers that are not dark. But Sith lightning is considered the deadliest Force power that any Force user can use, with the exception of Starkiller, but that's a whole different topic.
Well, we gotta talk about what side he's technically part of.
Starkiller?
Yeah, what part of the spectrum, like what faction would he be?
His own.
I think he could be a Dark Jedi, if anything.
I disagree. If anything, I'd say he's a light Sith.
I think that should be a whole episode.
Star Killer.
Yeah, Starkiller could be his own episode, but not next week because next week
playing Force Unleashed.
We have decided that next week is definitely Snoke Theory week.
No,
am I going to be on next week?
Come off with.
Wait, what?
Am I going to be on next week?
Who knows? I'm not in charge of the show.
Theories? I think I could find some good ones.
I'm just gonna Google like dumbest Star Wars theories and find as much as I can like argue that it's true.
It's gonna be great. Well, is there?
It is gonna be great. That's a great idea.
Is there anything else we have for this episode we want to go through?
What would you call the Bendu?
The one in the middle. I think he's essentially what a gray Jedi should be. Like I think he's just an individual of the middle, like we said. He would be called a gray Jedi. But I think he's totally in the middle.
Let's establish our own term for the middle, because there's the Ashla and there's the Bendu. What are the original? The light and the dark.
So I'm saying that. Oh, you're saying establish our own name for it?
Yeah, just.
I think it should just be called the Gray.
Alright, that's fine. I can work with that. The hot light.
I am a Gray.
The Gray, the balance.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I just like the Gray, because it makes sense when you take the dark and the light. Just say the Gray. Now, if you want to have a specific order name, that'd be probably different, but you know.
What are like truly people in the middle? Are they allowed to have attachments?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because one end of the spectrum is having no emotions, the other end of the spectrum is like using your emotions for everything. So I think the balance is just having emotions, but being able to control them sometimes. But not all the time. So it wouldn't be true balance.
Alright.
Yeah.
I think that's everything.
Okay, so what else is on our channel for this week? You can go back and watch last week's episode, which was our first episode. It had a much better intro, but you know.
No, it didn't.
Since this is Holocron Herald, by the way. So this is episode 2, last week's episode 1. Also up...
Link in the description.
Yeah. Also up should be the first episode of Steel City Bots, our new Transformers podcast with myself, Erimus Prime, Optanus Prime, and new host, Jared, with us. Also, there should be an episode of Awesome Asylum somewhat soon. That doesn't mean it'll be up the same day as this, maybe the day after,
John.
but soon. In terms of shows, that's all we have for this week. There may be more next week. We'll see. There will be links in the description. Social media.
Social medias.
Hold on.
Yep.
I would say like and subscribe, but YouTube made that unimportant now, so.
Like and subscribe because it makes us feel good.
Yeah.
And comment your thoughts on everything we talked about.
And which faction you would be in. I'm curious as to which faction most people would want to be in.
Should we have that be a poll on Twitter?
We can do that, but I'm saying that like I want to see people's specific answers too, because in all fairness, I think you only have so many things in a poll on Twitter.
I feel like we should.
How many things can you have on a poll on Twitter?
Wait, what'd you say, Luke?
I said I think we should have someone comment so I feel good about myself.
Good. Do it for Luke. Make Luke feel good about himself, guys. Comment something.
Hear that? Or I gotta
let it be. I want someone to comment. I hate Luke.
My power's stronger.
Someone just comments, I hate Luke. Aw, Luke feels good about himself now. Okay, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Erimus Prime. There shouldn't be a space. Yeah, there's no space in that. You can definitely hit me up there. You can find me on the other podcast I mentioned. And, John, you go next.
Alright, so on Instagram, you can find me at John with no H _ Foreman. And on Twitter, you can find me at Darth_Forge. So there you go. You're welcome.
NightWolf, why don't you go next?
On Twitter, you can find me at NightWolf, like NightWolf with an N, not with a K. NightWolf689. Since we're doing Instagrams, my Instagram is MoonKnight689. That is the Moon Knight with a K in the night. But I don't do anything on Instagram, so don't follow me.
I've actually been more active on Instagram, so I'd appreciate if people actually interacted with me on there, because then it'd make me feel like it's worth it.
I don't like Instagram because I don't want to know, like, what you ate this morning, when you shit last. I don't care.
I don't see, that's why I try not to post that stuff. I post, like, stuff that I do with
Snapchat.
my hobbies.
My $40 Halo figure.
No, I did not post my Halo figures on Instagram, but you know what? Maybe I will now, Luke, just to make you angry.
Yeah. And I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's for Twitter.
That is for Twitter. To be honest, I am definitely going to tweet about that, because I tweet about anything relating to my hobbies.
Yeah.
I walked outside today.
Considering making a Snapchat for the Transformers podcast at some point, if there's enough interest. Gotta have interest, though. I've seen a couple people that think they'd be interested, but, like, I definitely don't care about Snapchat, so if there isn't going to be people that want it, I'm not going to do it. But, we'll see. Wait, Luke, did you give social media?
I did not.
Oh, go ahead.
Alright, so as John assigned me last week, I will be Darth Sand. And Jeff yelled at me to make a Twitter, so I have to do that immediately after this. So I'll just, it's probably going to be, if anything, Darth_Sand. And if anyone that knows what I'm talking about here knows who Sir Crocodile is and can, like, draw me a fan art mixed with Darth Vader, that'd be elated, because he controls sand. And I would be so happy.
Oh my god.
I was like, that would be...
Oh, one other small thing. Two things, actually. If there's another format other than YouTube you want our podcast to be on, let us know. I know some people like SoundCloud. What did you just say? You said what I think you did, so I'm going to ignore you, because you said exactly what I think you said. So if you want, I hate you. But SoundCloud, you could possibly find us there if we get enough interest there. Other things, we don't really know what you guys want to listen to us on, so let us know. Second thing is, once Star Wars Battlefront 2 starts coming out, if you want to hit us up on, like, possibly play a couple rounds on there sometime,
bro.
I will have it. So if you, I won't give out my gamer tag now. I'll wait till later when the game's actually close to getting out. But if you're interested,
and when you have Xbox Live,
I will then. I was going to say I will have Xbox Live then. It is specifically Xbox, by the way. I don't have PlayStation because I'm not.
Because PlayStation sucks.
No, I'm not.
Fuck you, John.
I wish I wish I could buy both, but like I don't have that kind of money because of my toy spending habits. And I have Halo. I mean, I have Xbox strictly because I love Halo so much. It's my favorite video game series, so I have to buy Xbox. So there's that.
Also, I'd like to point out before the episode's over, earlier Eric said that he doesn't post stuff about his Transformers, and literally his latest post is about his Transformers.
I did not say John, you
weren't
listening.
Said about Halo figures.
Yeah, I said not my Halo figures. I said that I post stuff about my hobbies on there. Transformers is very much part of my hobbies.
Chipotle is part of my hobbies.
Whatever.
I said I don't post like what I eat and when I'm going to the bathroom.
I'm a angsty teen now. Whatever.
I'm gonna go back and listen to this episode, and if you actually said that, I'm gonna be like, okay, fine, Eric, you win.
Unlike
but if not,
subscribe.
But if not,
trust me, I would never say that I didn't put Transformers on any of my social media because that would be such a lie.
He has to delete everything now.
I was going to say, if I said that, I'd have to
just delete all his accounts.
Just break his phone.
That won't delete his accounts.
I know he's wearing a Transformers-related ring right now.
You're right. I wear that ring every day, though, so that doesn't mean that you're that special, though. Like, that's not that hard to guess.
Nope, Night Sister. Piss off, bitch.
Yeah.
Night Sisters aren't even that powerful. They're just more powerful than regular people.
I'm sorry, can you bring zombies up from your dead sisters and have them fight?
Actually,
No.
I'm just saying.
Actually, the Sith have been able to do some things like that occasionally.
Wait, let's just get
Yeah, well, there can only be 2 Sith. There could be...
I'm gonna say just now that the Night Sisters utilize Sith magic, and the Sith are the one that invented said magic. So,
Actually,
as a Dark Jedi,
no. Because they were just on their planet, which is rich in the dark side, and they just figured out how to do it.
No, they didn't. They were visited by Sith.
No, they knew how to do it before they met them.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
That's why they started using it as a burial ground, is because they interacted with them and started kicking off their whole dark...
Well, that was a good episode, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, it was.
Another real quick question is, like you said, they made Savage like Force sensitive or more so. Why didn't they do that with General Grievous? Like taking
because they
him-
couldn't.
Well,
There wasn't enough.
It was in Savage's bloodline
living.
because he's the brother of Maul. So he's the brother, so it's in his bloodline. They brought out something that was there, just not as... It wasn't outright known. Like, he wasn't trained since he was a child, so he didn't know he had these powers. They were kind of buried, but still there. General Grievous did not have those, and it specifically tried with different experiments to try to get them. Even a
Yeah, I know they
transfusion
tried the
from
blood
Siphon
thing.
Diaz. But yeah, he just couldn't. Which, honestly, I don't even
Also-
want to think about, because General Grievous would be unstoppable. If he, like, seriously, if he was Force
True.
sensitive,
That's true.
nothing could stop him.
'Cause he's, like, arguably the best lightsaber user, like, pretty much in the Star Wars universe. And so if he had
Considering the
Force...
fact that he can't use the Force, yeah. He's on a
I
level
would've-
of people that can.
I would have loved to see General Grievous versus Pong Krell.
I know, right? I've thought about that before, too. It'd be interesting to see which one was more strong.
Now we're done.
Yep,
Now,
now we are done.
shut up, John.
It's been episode 2. Thanks for listening.